Arrival. The house waits. Emma had always loved solitude. After a messy breakup and a stressful job in the city, she was desperate for a new beginning. The ad for the old house at the edge of town promised quiet, charm, and a fresh start. The drive was longer than expected. Fog hugged the road like a living thing, muting the sound of her tires over the gravel. Streetlights flickered and went out as she passed, one by one, until only her headlights cut through the mist. Trees loomed on either side, skeletal arms scratching the sky. The town was eerily silent, no barking dogs, no distant car engines, not even the wind seemed to move the leaves. Finally, she saw the house. It rose from the mist like a relic from a forgotten time, bigger than the photos suggested. Its paint was chipped, the windows were dusty, and the curtains were torn and hanging crooked. The driveway was cracked with weeds clawing through the concrete. Yet, despite its decay, there was something almost magnetic about it. It was waiting. Emma parked, heart pounding. The air smelled faintly of wet earth and rot. She grabbed her suitcase, the gravel crunching beneath her boots. The front door groaned as she pushed it open. Inside, sunlight barely pierced through the grimy windows. Dust motes floated like tiny specters, and every piece of furniture was draped in white sheets. Emma exhaled. Well, unless it's not perfect, but it's home now. The hallway mirror caught her eye. Its glass was fogged even though there was no humidity. Curious, she wiped it with her sleeve and froze. Behind her reflection, a figure stood. It had no face, just a black void where features should be. She spun around. Nothing. "I'm just tired," she whispered. But the feeling of being watched lingered, gnawing at her. The first night, shadows stirred. That night, Emma unpacked her few belongings. The house creaked and settled around her. Shadows stretched unnaturally in the corners, like they didn't belong. The first whisper came while she was brushing her teeth. A soft, almost indistinguishable sound. "Emma?" She froze, heart hammering. "Hello?" No reply. There was only silence and the faint rustle of the wind outside. She tried to rationalize it. "It's just the house. Old houses make noises." But old houses didn't move objects. Her mug slid an inch across the counter on its own. A photo frame tipped slightly when she looked away. When she went to bed, the shadows seemed thicker, almost oppressive. She pulled the sheets tightly around herself. Every creak of a floorboard and every whisper of the wind sounded like footsteps approaching. She kept her eyes on the hallway mirror. She couldn't bring herself to look too long, afraid the faceless figure might appear again. It did. For just a second, the black void was there at the end of the hall, standing perfectly still. When she blinked, it was gone. The creeping days, reality. Unravel's days passed, but nothing felt normal. Emma's sleep became fractured. Shadows moved differently than the sun, creeping across the floor in impossible directions. Mirrors caught glimpses of things that weren't there when she looked directly. The whispers grew louder. Stay with us." Sometimes they were just fragments of words. Sometimes they were clear commands. "Don't leave." Emma tried to leave. She packed a bag and headed to her car, but the engine wouldn't start. Her phone had no signal and no charge. Even the windows seemed stuck, refusing to budge no matter how hard she pulled. She was trapped. The faceless figure started appearing more frequently. Not just in mirrors, but at the corners of rooms, barely visible. When she turned, it vanished, always out of reach of her flashlight. It didn't move like a human. It glided unnaturally smooth, as if it didn't obey the laws of physics. One night, she awoke to the sound of whispers circling her bedroom. "Emma, belong. The sheets were cold and damp against her skin, even though she had locked all the windows. The room smelled faintly of decay. Her walls, bare and plain yesterday, now had faint scratches like someone, or something had tried to write on them. Isolation and fear, the mind phrase. By the fourth day, Emma's sense of time had fractured. Days and nights blended. The faceless figure was no longer subtle. It appeared in every reflection, in every shadow, even when she blinked. She began marking the walls, counting occurrences, and jotting notes. Mirrors fog without reason. Whispers every night, objects move. Figure in corners. Her panic grew, she barely ate. She barely slept. The house seemed alive, watching, adapting. One night, the faceless figure appeared fully in the hallway. Taller than a man, featureless, and black as a void. It glided closer, silent. Emma backed up into the kitchen, knocking over chairs and pots. The flashlight flickered. She screamed, and for a moment the shadows rippled across the walls like water. The whispers escalated to a chorus. You belong here. You belong here. You belong. The walls themselves seemed to pulse with the sound, a low vibration Emma could feel in her bones. Confrontation, facing the void. The house had changed. Ceilings stretched, doors disappeared, and mirrors reflected impossible angles. Emma was trapped in a maze of shadows. The faceless figure followed, gliding, unyielding. She tried to run. The hallway twisted impossibly, turning into a staircase that led nowhere. Mirrors on the wall multiplied her reflection, but each one showed the figure closer, looming, faceless. Who are you? What do you want? She shouted. No answer. Only the black void, pulsating with silence and darkness. Her flashlight flickered out. She screamed again, and the house seemed to exhale around her, cold air pressing in. Suddenly, the faceless figure was gone. Or perhaps it was everywhere. Emma collapsed to the floor, gasping, trembling. The walls no longer looked like walls, they were endless darkness, faint whispers curling in every corner of her mind. Aftermath, the house never lets go. Morning came, sunlight spilled through the windows. The house looked normal. Objects were in place. Mirrors reflected only her exhausted, pale face. Her car started, her phone worked. She left immediately, driving away with the sense of something clinging to her. She promised herself she would never return, but the whispers never truly left. Months later, she glimpsed something in a shop window reflection, a black void in the corner of her eye. She spun around, empty. Some houses, she realized, never let go. Some visitors never leave. I escaped the house, but I did not escape its memory. Some shadows follow you home. Some whispers wait until you close your eyes, and some are patient.